It's very important that the community knows what took place with my children being removed for profit in a former mayor who is involved with a dirty lawyer who she had worked with at the time when my children were removed.
Is that right?
Why, yes. The former mayor had worked with this dirty lawyer when my children were removed. It was December 16th, 1990.
So you are saying that the dirty lawyer was working with this former mayor?
Yes, and that is not all. And this mayor had told me when I spoke to her at the time that she does not make enough money as a mayor and it is charity work that she does.
Is that so?
Why, yes. Also, that former mayor is now being selected by the California governor this year 2012 to be an assistant state attorney for the California governor this year.
Is that so?
And there is more. No voter had voted her in that position for the former mayor in the city of Alameda to be the next assistant state attorney for the governor in California.
Oh, really?
Why, yes. And there is more. This former mayor that worked for the city of Alameda was the assistant for the dirty lawyer who is after the rich man money, and that I knew at the time.
So you are saying that this former mayor who worked for the city of Alameda was involved with this dirty lawyer who helped steal your children for profit?
Because that rich man who I knew wanted me and my children to move in with him, and that is why a dirty cop was sent to my apartment to beat me up and to stop me from moving in with this rich man, and no social worker came to my apartment at the time. My children were taken under false charges. I spent 4 days in jail at the time, and when I was in jail at the criminal court, the public defender told me to plead to no contest, and I told him I am not guilty and a cop had beaten me up. So I went in front of a different judge and I got out of jail.
Then what happened?
I went home and CPS wrote me false trump-up charges because of the dirty lawyer and many people who were plotting after the rich man's money, including his former wife, you see.
So it was about the rich man's money they were plotting, and that is why your children were taken and ended up in foster care?
Yes. You see, I was a victim and my children were victims also. They ended up in the foster care under trump-up charges. Senator Nancy Schaefer wanted changes to protect families from the Child Protective Services abuses and state welfare and institution laws in her state in Georgia, but instead she was murdered.
So a lot of people that want change in CPS?
Yes.
I see.
When I was going to the criminal court, a dirty judge you see was involved with my case at the time. He was involved with the corruption of stealing that rich man's money, who I knew as well, and when I went to the criminal court I told him I had a witness was my son, and he saw what that dirty cop did to me on December 16, 1990. That judge knew my son saw the cop beat me up and was going to testify in court on his mother's behalf against the dirty cop, and instead he had told me in front of my son and his grandmother in court that the next time I bring any witnesses I would be incarcerated.
The criminal court judge at the time gave you no chance for any witness as your son to testify against the dirty cop who had beaten you up?
Right. It was about the rich man's money, you see, and me and my children had to pay the price because of the money. When that rich man had passed away, they came down to embezzle the rich man's money among themselves.
So all those officials were after the rich man's money and they did not care for the welfare of your children or yourself?
Right. That former mayor knows more than what you think.
What do you mean?
That woman, former mayor for the city of Alameda, knows a lot, you see. She knows a lot. She was involved with the city of Alameda decisions making. Before she was mayor, there was a mayor before her, and that is the time the rich man had passed away. It was a lot of things happening at once at the time, that year 2002 at the time.
What do you mean?
That year 2002, the city mayor passed away. He was shot in the head and the public was told that it was suicide, you see. Then that dirty woman, former mayor, took his seat in the city of Alameda, California. Also that year the rich man had passed away.
What happened?
That rich man went to his vacation home where he does not bring any mail to, according to a close source, and he had a heart attack and he passed away. After that, the same day he had passed away, someone went to the tax assessor's office and paid on his home where he had lived at the time. 3 months before he had passed away, someone that was not the principal of Notre Dame yet had applied his estate to Notre Dame before he had passed away.
So you are telling me that they plotted this to steal the rich man's money 3 months before he had passed away?
2 years after that, the rich man's wife went after his property and his son without a court order, along with a real estate agency, and the agency made a fictitious name called Timberdale Properties. They did a quick deed and it was illegal without a court order. One day I was at Kinko's store and the former criminal judge went inside Kinko's store and did not buy anything and stared at me as I was copying some documents.
So was that former criminal judge involved?
Yes, and so was the chief of police of the city of Alameda at the time when my children were removed, because he sent a dirty cop to my residence to remove my children in order for me not to move in with that rich man, you see. That chief had marital problems with his wife and he had domestic violence, and so did the dirty cop, and his relatives had a Mexican restaurant they own. Also, when I tried to get the police report when they removed my children, they said it was destroyed.
So you are telling me that it was a plot to steal your children so you would not move in with that rich man?
Right, and that dirty lawyer went to the top of the list as an executor of the rich man estate and plotted to steal his money and shared the profits with city officials. I am a victim and so is my children. My children grew up without me and I was not able to raise them because of CPS abuses and along with city officials' involvement. Also, I was robbed this year's 2012 and some personal information was stolen along with personal things. A screenplay coming soon called Being Robbed, based on the story about CPS abuses and the city officials' abuses and being robbed as well, by author Gloria Guerra.